I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the Buena Vista Township regular meeting, December 23rd, 2024. We'll start with a roll call.
Mr. Krenzer?
Here.
Mr. Renart?
Here.
Mrs. Testa?
Here.
Mr. Williams?
Here.
Mayor Ruggieri?
Here. On January 9th, 2024, notice of this meeting was mailed to the Daily Journal, the press, and duly posted in the main lobby of the municipal complex. All requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been met in compliance with the Sunshine Law. I'd like to ask everyone to stand to salute the flag. Aaron, will you read this?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of minutes. We have the workshop meeting for December 9th, 2024, and the executive meeting for December 9th, 2024.
Need a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Krenzer?
Yes.
Renart?
Yes.
Testa?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Ruggieri?
Yes.
Announcements, presentations, discussions. This evening, we have a presentation for a Certificate of Achievement to the Richland Volunteer Fire Company, number 1. Mayor?
Alrighty, guys, I'm going to brag about you real quick, and then I'm going to invite you up, okay? So first and foremost, we would like to thank Richland Fire for 100 years of tremendous service to this township, for your steadfast commitment to putting the needs of our residents at the forefront. We've invited you here tonight to accept a small keepsake as a token of our monumental appreciation for the work that Richland Fire has done, past and present. On behalf of really the township as a whole, myself included, I want to kind of go into just a few quick things. Your history, we could probably go on for the better part of an hour with the timeline and kind of what's got us to present day. So I want to just first and foremost, Chief Manfredo has the full support of this township as he continues to lead this organization toward its next 100 years of service. We cannot thank you enough for the critical role you guys play in the overall safety of this township. Can we please get a big round of applause for Richland Fire? I'd like to invite everyone up. We do have a plaque that we'd like to present to you guys this evening, and I do want to give you guys the opportunity to share a few words with our community as a whole.
Just make sure to turn that microphone around, Bill. Okay.
I want to give you guys the floor collectively. If you have something you'd like to share with the township tonight, I don't think we can overstate just day-to-day the critical role that you guys play and how difficult it is to maintain anything for as long as you have. So we tip our hat to you. The floor is yours.
As I'm the senior officer president, Michael L. Burstyn, I'm the vice president of the Richland Volunteer Fire Company, member for over 50 years of its 100 years service. We are still finishing the first century of our service. We intend to keep on churning along for the next century, as you had mentioned. Volunteerism is certainly a difficult task as years go by, as every organization realizes. We still stand steadfast and committed here. We are the oldest fire company in Buena Vista Township, founded December 8, 1924, after some major fires that disrupted Richland at the time. Started off with the classic borrowed truck pulled a trailer with firefighting equipment. We eventually got a Model T, a little chemical engine, in 1925. In 1925, we also built our original wooden firehouse at Main Avenue and Smith Street in Richland. 1958, we converted the building, truck bays into a masonry building because we finally got a modern 1958 model American LaFrance custom pumper. $18,000 back then. That was a lot of 1950s carnivals, macaroni dinners, chicken barbecues, pancake breakfasts that we were always constantly working at to help pay the cost of these things. Unfortunately, the cost of firefighting apparatus and equipment and uniform and such just keeps on ratcheting upwards year by year. And we certainly try to be very cost efficient. And we've got now 4 vehicles, 2 pumpers, a pumper tanker, and a rescue service truck that every 5-6 years we have to turn over to get newer equipment as we're running out bit by bit. But we certainly appreciate the support of the township. We helped found the Buena Vista Township Emergency Management Services back in 2000, along with East Island Fire District 2. Thankfully, they have actually grown bigger than we ever anticipated, and worked closely with them. Forest Fire Service. We've now got a rescue boat that we use for Atlantic County dive team support. So mutual aid assistance all around the area. They call us, we go. That's our job. But I'd like to thank all our members here that came out tonight. Unfortunately, Chief Manfredo injured his back a bit, so he was able to meet tonight, but he extends his heartfelt thanks to the township for all the great support you've given us for the past century.
Well, and I'm going to give these guys a quick plug. If you've ever had even just the slightest inclination of wanting to volunteer in any way, shape, or form, I couldn't think of a better organization to be a part of. So thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Okay. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Nice holiday.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Did they give him the plaque? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, there it is.
It's so tough. I mean, I don't envy these guys. He said there used to be a waiting list. Alrighty, a few quick items I'd like to touch on tonight, above and beyond. Holiday dinners. Over the weekend, we had our community center serve more than 60 holiday meals to residents. This was another great event for the township. These events at our community center are always run extremely efficiently. This weekend was no exception. Huge thank you to Director Quentin McClendon for cooking these meals and to all of our volunteers who made this possible. 2025 calendars. Calendars are out. They have been delivered. I just want to give you guys a quick walkthrough. These calendars are 100% designed by township staff and paid for by our local businesses. Every single calendar is hand-delivered by our Public Works Department to every home in Buena Vista Township. How many, if we had to guess, do we have?
2,850 calendars have been delivered
Hand-delivered.
In
So,
one day.
in a day and a quarter.
a day and a half.
It was quick, though.
It was quick.
very quick.
So I'd like to thank everybody that continues to make these calendars possible each year. These, like we've said before, every important date for 2025 is captured in these calendars, as well as a ton of memories from 2024 that are immortalized in these calendars. So please use as a reference for all frequently asked questions for the year ahead. And then lastly, and most importantly, I want to wish everybody, on behalf of myself, Township Committee, Township staff, very happy, healthy, safe holiday season across BVT, and a very Merry Christmas. 2024 was a year filled with countless blessings across our township. I'm confident that this good fortune will continue into 2025 as we continue our journey. Thank you, guys. Have a good evening. Thank you. That's all I have for my report tonight.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinances for introduction, first reading, there are none. Ordinances for public hearing, second reading, there are none. Public comment on current agenda items only. In order for the committee to conduct the business of the township in the most productive manner possible, meeting attendees will be given 2 minutes, all-inclusive, to comment on any agenda items without comment or question from the committee, but only on items specified on the agenda listed for the current meeting. Please step up to the microphone at the appropriate time and state your name and address for the record. Resolution 168-24 is authorizing the payment of bills in the amount of $1,729,604.85. Of that, the school board monthly tax is $973,587, and the quarterly fire district tax is $324,405.76. Consent agenda items include business which are not controversial and do not require individual discussion. A motion approving the consent agenda is moved, seconded, and voted upon as one item by the Township Committee. If any item or any discussion is requested on the consent agenda item, it is removed from the consent agenda to the regular agenda. 169-24 is authorizing transfer of budget appropriations. 170-24 is authorizing the mayor to execute a shared service agreement with the Township of Franklin. 171-24 is authorizing the Township Clerk to issue annual operating licenses. 172-24 is appointing Lisa Tilton, Township Clerk, as the Municipal Housing Liaison. 173-24 is accept proposal for Frank Mazentoff for the lease of township-owned property. 174-24 is authorizing the cancellation of grant funds receivable. 175-24 is the reappointment of Chelsea Wharton as Deputy Township Clerk. And 176-24 is fixing and establishing wages and salaries for 2025.
We need a motion and a second to open to the public for agenda items only.
Motion to open to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to close?
Motion to close.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion and a second to pay the bills.
Motion to pay the bills?
Second.
Roll call?
Krenzer,
Yes.
Renart,
Yes.
Testa,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Ruggieri.
Yes. And a motion and a second to adopt consent agenda resolutions 169 through 176.
Motion to adopt 169 through 176-24.
Roll call?
Was there a second?
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Second, John. Roll call?
Krenzer,
Yes.
Renart,
Yes.
Testa,
Yes.
Williams,
Yes.
Ruggieri.
Yes. Item 12. What do you have for us tonight, Lisa?
So this is the first meeting since our brand-new digital sign has been installed. It was just installed 2 Fridays ago. It is a 4-foot by 8-foot digital sign right here up by the building, here at the municipal complex. I am getting to learn how to put stuff up there, so slowly but surely we will have all of our events posted, times for opening, closing, things of that nature, things that are happening within Buena Vista Township. So keep your eye out here for the sign. I hear you definitely is eye-catching from the street as you're going by. So even when the power was out Friday night, that was definitely illuminated. It also has Amber Alert emergency equipped interruption that goes on the sign as well. So if there's any emergencies that automatically go out, the sign will automatically transfer over to that emergency for 30 seconds and then come back to the regular program to that. So it has a lot of features to this sign. It's been a long time coming. Completely paid by grant money. It's been saved up over several years to be able to purchase and afford this sign. So I appreciate the Township Committee's support in allowing me to kind of still do what we need to do operationally and also put a little bit of money aside year after year to be able to purchase this completely out of grant money. So with that, we have a Christmas tree here. It's a decorated tree with handcrafted, hand-designed ornaments from all the students at Melanese School. It is here on display through January, probably towards the end of January, we will take it down, but the students got together, they contacted us, they wanted to be able to provide decorations that they do annually. We usually hang them up in the hallway, and this year we actually purchased a tree, so that way year after year when they do decorations, we can continue to display them. So anybody who would like to come and take pictures of it or take a look at it, please feel free to stop by. Definitely, they did a fantastic job for the amount of decorations that we have. And with that, I just want to say I'm so proud of all of our accomplishments that we have done here in 2024, not only for the different events that we were able to do, a lot of the different grants and road improvements we were able to do as well, but more specifically for the employees. Several employees have switched different offices, escalated their professional career here in Buena Vista. So I couldn't be any prouder than the team that we have to be able to be so dedicated to Buena Vista and to be able to move on into different tasks, and they take on those tasks here in the township. So with that, I also want to wish everybody a very happy holiday, a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and we won't see each other before New Year, and Happy New Year as well. So that's my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Lisa. We are going to jump over to committee reports, and we will start with Deputy Mayor Testa. What do you have for us tonight?
Well, I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and a very happy, healthy, and prosperous New Year, and a safe New Year. I want everybody to appreciate everything that we try to do for all of our residents here in Buena Vista Township, and we will continue to do what we've done, and hopefully better every year. And that's about it.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Committeeman Krenzer.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Thank you for everybody that braved the cold to come out tonight. It's definitely chilly out there now, so winter is
a lot
definitely
warmer than
here.
last night.
So, yeah, it's
10
it's
degrees
still
warmer,
cold.
heat wave.
But just a big congratulations to Richland Fire Company. 100 years is a long time, and especially for a volunteer fire company or a volunteer, I'll call it business of any sort to make it 100 years, let alone for 1, 2, 3 years. I mean, it just doesn't happen anymore. So huge congratulations to them, and thank you for everything that they do. Public Works update. We are out doing ice control to township properties, which is salting and just making sure everything is on par with no ice anywhere. Bus shelter maintenance, building inspections, filling potholes, road cutbacks with our boom arm on the back of the tractor, pick up roadside litter, park maintenance. This past week, we had planning board. Everything went well. We approved a variance for an addition up in Collins Lakes. And I just want to say thank you for the whole team at Buena Vista Township, everybody, Public Works, EMS, everybody inside the office here. We have a great team, and, we couldn't do it without you guys. There has been a lot of moving parts this past year, and I think everybody is finally in a role and fit where we need them, and I think that they love it. So thank you for everything, and the volunteers is just phenomenal that our team does above and beyond what they're asked every year. So we appreciate everything that they do. It was a busy year, and it's going to be busier next year. I mean, if you go through our calendar, I spent the other day going through the calendar and putting everything in my online calendar. I'm like, oh my gosh, everything is just added up and more. So we're going to be out and about. So anybody that wants to volunteer and help, please reach out to Lisa, and we can definitely use the help. So, but stay warm, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everybody. I hope everybody has a safe holiday. So thank you, guys. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Aaron. Committeeman Renard, what do you have for us tonight?
Not really a lot. I just want to thank everybody for everything you have done for us to help the community. We do a lot during the year, and we need the whole community to help us to make this a vibrant community. All the events we have, we cannot do with 5 or 6 people. We depend on volunteers, and they never let us down. They always volunteer. I personally find myself blessed to be up on this board, and I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas and a nice New Year.
Thank you, Kurt. Committeeman Williams.
Yes, I just wanted to mention, thank the Richland Fire Company. As Aaron said, it's quite an achievement to be around for 100 years. That's outstanding, and to keep going and still be doing what you were doing 100 years ago is fantastic.
I agree.
And then also I wanted to thank the MLK Center and the director Quentin McClendon for the holiday dinners. I was able to help distribute the dinners that we had approximately 87 dinners, and there was like 26 families that they took care of, which was very nice to see. It went a little quicker than the Thanksgiving distribution, but it was still enjoyable. It was nice to see that people could use the dinners. Also, I wanted to mention approximately 3 weeks ago, we had the Santa's toy workshop, and it was like, again, this year was outstanding. It was nice to see all the kids that come and get some gifts with from Santa Claus, and it was nice to be involved in that also. And I also wanted to thank Lisa and her staff for the great job they did again this year. And I also wanted to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year, joyous New Year. And that's all I have.
Thank
Thanks.
you, John. And I'll resonate on John's last point, again, with the holiday toy drive. I can't thank everyone enough that was a part of that. Our participants, our volunteers, our professionals, our donors. The event, like I said, completely exceeds expectations every year. So thank you again for making that, for being able to transform this room to the North Pole for 24 hours. So thank you, guys. Item 14, public comment.
The committee welcomes participation of interested organizations and individuals during regular caucus, workshop, and special meetings. However, in order to conduct the business of the township in the most productive manner possible, attendees will be given 4 minutes, all-inclusive, including all dialogue, questions, and responses from both the speaker and the committee for the designated public portion of the meeting. There may be no transference of a speaker's time to other attendees, so please step up to the microphone at the appropriate time and state your name and address for the record.
Need a motion and a second to open to the public.
Motion to open to the public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are open. Yep, come on up. Just turn that microphone around. Yeah, perfect.
Daniel Hines, 106 Locust Ave. Just wanted to bring up a public safety issue for the township to consider. I live on the Millway section of this township. Love it. Love the township. We have a busy road, Millow Avenue, where it intersects with Locust Avenue. So the safety concern is the children bus stop. There's 3 or 4 buses that stop there twice a day. Not many people abide by the speed limit. They pass, it's a non-passing zone. We have tractor trailers, commercial trucks up and down the street. It's really not wide enough for that. There's no striping, there's no lines on the street. So I just wanted to make the township aware of it, something we can get a study or somebody to really pay attention to the traffic patterns there. A 3-way stop would be phenomenal. Really safe for the kids. We've seen cars pass the buses, so it's a matter of child safety. I'm not sure if the township's aware of it at all, but you can take a look at it and let us know. I mean, it's all the neighbors, we have a couple here that are concerned about it, and we'll talk about a couple more issues, but I just want to make you aware of it.
What do you think is like the closest known address, if we could have our township engineer at least dot this on a map tomorrow to kind of start the
We have property there,
exploratory?
Bill, so I'm aware of exactly what you're talking about. You know, I drive it weekly, and, you know, it definitely can become an issue. And you get behind a bus, and, you know, the bus, God forbid you have to pass the bus. It's a very narrow road, so.
And I work from home, and so my
Yeah.
window faces it, it's just, my concern is for the kids.
Yep.
But I've seen animals almost get hit, and
Yeah.
it's.
It's just the speeding too.
Absolutely.
So trash, I clean up the trash along the road, I mow the road, and I pick up bags each week, so the traffic is reduced, the trash will be reduced, the children will be safer, pets will be safer. And I have Nest cameras, so everything videotaped, so good approximation of speeds, and people do 50 and 60 miles an hour down the street consistently. So a 3-way stop would stop it easily. I know there's traffic studies and engineering that's involved in it.
We actually have to go back to Dave and see exactly how that
Is
road is.
it at Locust and Millville
Locust
Avenue?
Avenue, yes.
Okay, so Millville is actually a county road. Locust is a municipal road,
Yeah.
so we would actually we'll have our engineer take a look at it. He'll give us a recommendation. Usually what he would do based on that recommendation is we would have to do a resolution, send it to the county, and ask the county to do a traffic study. And then we would follow up from there regarding
Based on my
that.
measurements, it's really not wide enough for the amount
Right.
of traffic that it's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that by the bend? Millville and Locust?
No,
It's before, it's right after the railroad tracks.
Oh, it's, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Section is the county.
Yeah.
The county doesn't plow.
On Millville?
On Millville Avenue from Tucker Road to Bears Head Road, that's
Yeah.
not county.
It's a small stretch.
Yeah.
It is a yeah.
The county doesn't plow.
I thought it was
The
county, too.
plows.
Is it the Millville that turns into Broad, Dan, that one?
Well, if you're coming off of Tucker Road and heading towards McLean,
Right.
that
Yes.
stretch there.
Right.
That's not county road, though. It's not county.
But
road.
I'll let you determine that. You're the expert.
Yeah, we'll send that to our engineer, but,
Absolutely.
yeah, if
We're
it's,
there if they need to stop their
yeah,
operation.
because if it's Broad that turns into,
Yes, ma'am.
you know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
They all intersect at one point.
Sure.
We actually just were out there, I think a couple months ago, that's, the trees on the power lines were
Yeah.
pretty severe out that way, so I think we
Yep.
were out there clearing it up. I
Yeah,
know we
most
put
of
a
the
ticket in
neighbors
for
like that,
them, so,
Trim the
yeah.
trees and we
Right.
take care of the roads ourselves, but
Yep.
it's, I just appreciate the consideration. I'm sure you're
Okay.
accepting to it.
Absolutely.
Understood.
Great.
We're on it.
Definitely.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, sir.
Merry Christmas.
You as
Thank you
well.
so much.
Thank you.
Same.
No. Okay, I'm Dan Rivers from Millville Avenue, 355. Some of the complaints that we have is there's absolutely no striping left on the road, there's no passing zone. Most of the signs are either down or covered. And then in the corner of Millville and Locust is an extremely bad bump that when the trucks hit it, wakes up the kids and everything else that goes on in between there, you know. And the road appears to be settling right in front of our house, where our lawn is actually looking out into the road. I don't know what that's all about, but somebody needs to look at that. And then, there is no shoulders there at all, and the poles are up as close as 1 foot from the white line. It needs to be repaved. What else do you have about it? I'm going by my wife's notes here. And the other complaint that, the other issue that we have in town is the cell phone tower. We have no cell phone service in our area, neither does the fire company, and now that we receive all our pages over the cell phones, our text messages and different, the fire company, we're having a real hard time. We're on Wi-Fi at the firehouse and at our house, just to have service, that we can get the messages for the fire company itself, so. Just want to bring that too. And that's been an ongoing issue with Verizon. We've brought it up before, but there's some limitations you could have with cell phone towers or something. I'm not sure. A master plan or something, somebody told me, I'm not quite sure.
We usually don't have a ton of success with the utilities. Even to what Aaron said, we call in trees, and it's Comcast, Verizon, AC Electric. I mean, 9 times out of 10, we end up just doing the tree. We kind of stopped calling them in because it's, they're out there with micrometers, and you own this branch, we'll cut these 3, you cut these 2. So
I just go out there and do it for myself now, and I help out, so I probably shouldn't, but that's what I do, so, yeah. Yeah.
With the cell phone service, they seem to indicate to me, to Verizon people, that there's a master plan.
Where's the closest tower?
The closest tower, Alan has it here, is Horton Highway and Madison Avenue in Miska. And the other closest is Italia and Union Road in Bonham, East Bonham. So those are the 2 closest there. We had one there where the Rosa property was, when the past mayor, I guess you remember, was, High Street, where Chuck's property was, where the big tower was.
Right,
That was
and that fell
We
down.
had no service at all.
Yeah. They took the temporary one away too, I think, that they had up
Yeah,
there.
put
They had
a
it,
20-foot tower up there, everything works up line of sight, so it doesn't really help.
Right.
anybody.
He said it would help
Right.
if it was between Dorothy and Millmain, if between that area, it could be a tower.
the one that's at Dorothy, that has Verizon on it? The Dorothy Tower?
I don't believe so, because they said they gave us the addresses of the 2 closest ones.
They were the only 2 closest ones.
Horton
With
Highway-
Verizon.
Horton Highway and Madison
Verizon,
Avenue,
yes.
Miska.
Okay.
But they're telling you they're trying to put another one in or
Well, they
improve
seem
their
to-
service?
They were looking for a master plan or something about the master plan held them up from doing anything.
I don't
I'm not sure I
know
understood everything.
what they're trying to mean by that.
Do you-
They have pretty, they have a lot of authority in doing that.
Pretty much.
Mr. Rubin, do
Yeah.
you have a contact or somebody that you were talking to there?
I'm sure I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you mind just emailing that over to Lisa, or just get it over to me, or,
Yeah, yeah.
you have my number, so just get it over and we'll take a look at it, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
They said it's up to the township. We need to speak to the township about it.
Well, this would probably be the first time in history that they were asking for our approval for
Exactly.
anything. They
Exactly.
just
Usually
do.
it works the other way around, so
They just do.
So usually they have a property that they'll usually lease from to put the tower up. So the one that's right on Harding Highway, there's a little road that goes behind that new house that they just built, right across from the fire tower. And we have one, the township has one on Dixon. We own the property, but they lease the tower, and then they purchase the rights to it in the end of the day. So as long as they have property to put it on, whether they own it or not, they should.
But this one here is the one you're looking at right down the street.
The one on Harding Highway, across from the fire tower?
Right, okay, that's the closest one they listed in Miska, and then the other one is in East Lyme.
I wonder if that's not Verizon, that's something else you're talking about.
I thought Verizon has an antenna on Dorothy's
Yeah,
tower.
It's so bad now that, well, like I said, we automatically got our phone set for Wi-Fi at the firehouse and at home, and our house, because we can't get any.
Yeah.
From the active 911, or, you know, if we ever, what is it, retrieve.
Yeah.
In the building or outside or both?
Well, you get, inside the building even worse. You know, of course, on Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
it's fine, but, you can't get, you can't even get a phone call inside the building, unless you're on Wi-Fi, you know.
Okay.
Everybody's got their phone set automatically. It'd be nice if they just put a little satellite thing up somewhere. They keep on sending us network extenders.
Yeah.
For what reason? Put one on the corner, everybody will be happy, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Understood.
Okay.
Give us, when's our next meeting?
Well, reorg and then the end of
6th.
January.
So yeah, give us till the end of January on the road. That'll allow him to get out there and take a look and give him
Especially that small
the assessment. I know exactly what you're talking about, so,
And
yep.
the drainage.
Because the guy on the corner there has kids, that's where the bus usually stops right
Corner of
there.
Millville and
So,
Locust.
yeah,
Keep them off the highway,
Yeah.
Okay.
That bump, something,
That bump wakes up everybody.
and also our porch is settling. I don't know if it's from that bump or what, but our porch is starting to settle.
Yeah, move the road going to-
On the road.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
what we have them look at it.
Okay.
We're on it. Thank you, guys.
thank you, guys.
One leg on the.
Good evening. My name is Fred Akers. I live at 175 9th Street in Newtonville. I've lived in the township for over 40 years. And I've lived on 9th Street for 37 years. And over all those years, the township has really done a good job of maintaining an unimproved road that I live on. And it has been getting better over time as the road department gets better equipment and becomes better accomplished at grading. But right now, we got a kind of a new problem on 9th Street, and we're having a development being built that was approved by the planning board, and it's at the end of 9th Street, and the developers think that 9th Street is part of their development, and so they're blocking the road. It's, rutted up, and I wouldn't expect the township to maintain it when these guys are driving bulldozers and heavy equipment. They move a lot of dirt material, and so I'm just kind of making a comment, and this has been like a long time coming. So this particular developer has really been an unprofessional slob developer, nickeling and diming this development for over 30 years. It originally was a 99-unit development that was going to go through the 10th Street, and the township very nicely has, they kept extending the permit for at least 10 years. And I knew there was going to be a problem because when they first were doing the 99-unit development, they got a guy in a backhoe, and he went around in the woods digging the test pits for the soil, and then he didn't backfill. So there was all these holes around the woods, and some of the properties were never even purchased for the development where the holes were done. So I foresee this as a continuing problem. I don't, you know, I think we're all gonna be victims of circumstance, but anything that the township could do to protect our road during the development would be greatly appreciated.
So, yeah, Mr. Akers, so this past week at our planning board, this came up as far as the maintenance of the roads and the vehicles being parked in the middle of the road or off on the side where you couldn't get around them safely. And we made some comments to our township engineer, and from my understanding, the engineer the next day or days after was going up there to have another conversation with him. But our township engineer is on it. He's up there daily checking on those guys. And we continue to have conversations every other day with him, you know, in regards to making sure that the residents can get in and out of there safely and not be blocking the road. And if they're tearing the road up, I mean, they're hauling dirt in, hauling it out, and just making a mess of the road, from my understanding. So I know that they were on it, so.
All right, well, thanks, just
Yeah.
wanted to give you an update.
No, I
What is the
appreciate it,
normal
though.
cadence that they usually grade the road? Is it once a year, twice a year? This, without this in the equation?
More than that.
It's more frequently.
Yeah,
Okay.
more than that.
And I think, I'm not the expert, but I think they might play the weather.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do, yeah.
Yeah,
You know, so if it's kind of raining, it's like, wait till it dries out.
Yeah.
And we can-
And you don't want to grade it before it rains, because if you grade it and it rains, it ruts. So you really have to play, and you don't want to do it when it's too dry, because when it's too dry, it's too hard. So it
Well, you
does.
guys
It's a
have
weather
been doing
game.
good job. I really appreciate that. So
Thank you.
Thank
Merry
you, Fred.
Christmas.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Madam Clerk, Sheriff O'Donoghue. I'm here to answer some questions that have been circulated about several things. I don't know if we can do it in 4 minutes, but I'm always open to a phone call. So I'll start with the drop box, and I'll explain to you why the sheriff had to discontinue that. It was brought to my attention by staff that we are in direct violation of federal drug enforcement law and regulations. I'll start briefly by saying to ensure the police department personnel are able to keep eye by camera or in person on that drop box 24/7. That can't be done, not from here, and certainly for them to travel down there, either by direct line of sight camera or monitored by personnel. Secondly, drop box has to be made available to the public 24/7. Whether you're locked or not, you have to make that box available to the public. That's part of the law. I'm going to leave this for you so you can review it and try to digest it, as we had to. And I also want to say that most important in implementing a permanent drop box, it has to be approved by the DEA and the local agent before it's even approved. If it's not monitored, you're in violation. Enforcement by the DEA has to be approved, not only the location, but the permanent surveillance, and it has to be in a police department, not a town hall, but a police department. Most importantly, there have been several arrests made of public officials for both theft from that box and the insurance of the transportation and the continuity of evidence from that box. That's been violated on numerous occasions. That's why these regulations are in place. So therefore, we could not monitor this properly, both here in Brigantine. That's first and foremost that I wanted to bring up because that's the most recent issue. And if anybody has an issue with that, they can certainly call me and we'll go over that with you. Brigantine was notified ahead of time to their police department because they have a police department that's established. State police were not interested in handling that, evidently here. So I contacted them. Second thing I wanted to talk to you about is the sovereign citizen problem that you have here. The Sheriff's Office not only monitored it, but documented it. I spoke with both commander and the major from the state police. They have no intention at this point of enforcing it, the regulation, and they're not sure what the violations are at this point, from what they told me. Unfortunately, they have neither the officer power or ability to do it. That was made very clear and concise to me on several occasions. Matter of fact, they welcomed seeing our people in the area because they don't know if their people have enough backup. I will say to you, the Land County Sheriff's Office in the past year has effectuated not hundreds, but thousands of warrant arrests. They're published weekly, and that's what we do. We had 7,000 warrants pending from the last administration that were untouched, uncared for, and we assume that responsibility along with the liability of that. We also, Atlantic County, unfortunately, every week is either number one or number two, think about this, for fatalities due to motor vehicle accidents in this state. This county, with its population not even close to North Jersey, and we're in competition for 1 or 2 spot for fatal motor vehicle accidents. That's why we are in the high-risk areas enforcing traffic law as we speak. I have officers out there. I can tell you that Officer, my second in command, Mario Suarez, who's my undersheriff, and I, during the election, worked 16 to 20-hour days for a month prior to and leading up to the election to ensure the safety and the sanctity of this election. And it was not an easy task. We got in the middle of everything from disputes to physical confrontation, and we did what we had to do to make sure the citizens had a fair and safe voting ballot place to go to. That was everywhere we needed to be, and we responded to those calls. The Sheriff's Office, although limited in manpower and woman power and officer power in general, has not done a great job. They've done a phenomenal job. Our statistics far exceed anything prior to this administration. And we have had nothing but great comments from both the public and administrations throughout this county. I have the same policy I've always had. And what I promised to do during my election, we have done. If anybody has any question, I have an open door policy. And we can always discuss what the opinions are and what people think we should or can do. But again, I can't do that without discussion. And that's what we need to do. I understand the position that this council's in because I spent several years in Egg Harbor Township that has a multitude of problems on council. So I understand how sometimes things get lost in the shuffle. But as long as our phone systems work, we should be able to reach out. And that's open to the public. I have an open office every day, and we're in the office every day. We can't get things done if we don't cross-communicate. So I know it's a 4-minute issue, but I'm here to answer any questions that anybody in the council has or anybody from the public about what they think we should be doing or what we can or can't do. But we are also limited, and keep in mind, there was no policing being done all through COVID and all for the past, I don't know how long. But we have consistently and constantly training our people to do the job we're supposed to do, which is law and order and public safety. Passing out clean needles is not our job. That's medical staff. HOPE program, that dissipated into the ozone layer. That's no longer present. It was, whatever was done with that had nothing to do with us. We have community health workers that respond to psychological issues and things like that for people in courts and all over this county. And we have a food service program that we have volunteers for, not paid by the public, not paid by as officers, but volunteer basis. I'm open to any questions you may have about this Dropbox incident to try to clear this misunderstanding up, but I can't answer if we don't have a conversation. Is there any questions from mayor, council, clerk, anybody?
I'll defer all matters of the Dropbox to Lisa. I mean, I don't know the origins of the box originally, and legally, us maintaining the service in relation to, any compliance issues we have. I mean, from what you said, if that's the letter of the law, we can't adhere to those standards. So I'm guessing this, I'll defer this to our legal scholar.
I appreciate you coming to have a conversation regarding the Dropbox. Obviously, on the agenda, we needed to locate a law enforcement agency to be able to do it. The one thing I will indicate is the state police indicated that they would do it. However, they wanted to move the Dropbox to their location, which we felt would be a little inconvenient for residents, more so specifically, it's centrally located here. And a lot of the residents are familiar with it being here, as well as the residents that utilize it are more so centrally located. So I think we can have a conversation regarding what transpired as to why we needed to locate a different law enforcement agency for the procurement and disposal of it. I think it's a great thing for the community. We were the first ones in the state of New Jersey to ever receive a drop box. We were advertised, we were in the press. It was a great thing that was done through JTAC with Atlantic County joined together. Atlantic County, we stand behind it, and the reason for being behind it, to make sure that any prescription medications are safely deposited for destruction. You know, our drop box has always been safe to the residents. It is monitored. It could have been monitored by your agency as well. It's just a quick right into our security system, which we would have permitted. So I think this is a conversation that we can definitely have, and I'm glad that you came so that we can actually have an in-person conversation.
Okay, so I would say to you that by keeping it in this building, first and foremost, you're in violation.
All right, why don't we have that
I-
meeting after this,
yeah.
okay? Lisa and I'll meet with you, Sheriff, if
Okay.
you want to go over those concerns that weren't
That
previously
would be
expressed
fine.
to us.
But at least we want that conversation. We want to make sure there's clear and concise understanding as to why we couldn't continue it. That original conversation took place with another undersheriff, from what I understand, Sheriff Lee, correct?
No, there was no conversation, and
We're
I will
We're going to
put that on
discuss
there.
this in detail once this meeting's concluded. We're
No,
not
sir.
going to
You
go,
want
Sheriff,
me
we're
to
not
schedule
going
after
to,
the
we're not,
meeting? Is that
Sheriff,
what
we're
you're
not, well, that's up to you, but we're not going to debate the facts and the scenario and the history of this in the middle of a
I
public
have no
meeting.
intention to debate it. I'm just giving you.
I understood, Sheriff. We'll meet to your convenience, whether that's
I'll
tonight
wait.
or on another
I have no
date.
problem with waiting. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I will ask for a motion.
Hang on,
Oh,
we
I'm
got
sorry.
one more.
Go ahead.
Good evening. Saul John Gill, 737 Main Avenue. It was really nice to hear the man bring up the sovereign citizen issue. I'm the neighbor of this sovereign citizen that they've been talking about. My whole plan's changing tonight, but anyway, that car that he has them tags on, he has a DOT number he put on there. All right, to make it look like, thank God yesterday, Franklin Township, I heard God pulled him over again. Every day, or every other day, he drives that car with his kids in it. He goes to Wawa, Tractor Supply, all that, right past this building, you know. The state police, you know how, I don't want to comment, you know how I feel. I've been through so much with them. They don't seem to want to do much, and I don't call them anymore. So I deal with everything that my neighbor does now, which is unbelievable. He bought himself a chainsaw. She's got himself pretty much a quarter of the woods cut down. Looks like he's stacking the firewood to sell it. I don't know. The animals have no water for the last 2.5 days, 3 days. He walks out there with a post, poke a hole in the ice, but you know how long that lasts, and whether we have it frozen right up, you don't take no ice out of there. And when we had court, now it's been 3 months, and the judge said, gave him 48 hours, and then she never signed the order. But that day, my sister's the one that testified. And I'm wondering why no one else testified, like either somebody with the township or the Board of Health, they were there.
I
Board of Health seen it.
testified. I testified that day.
Okay, you did?
Absolutely.
All right.
On behalf of the township.
Absolutely. Yep.
The Board of Health was there originally, they didn't testify. They were the only people out of all this that ever came out and walked our property line to see actually what there is there. And that lady's, she's probably older than I am.
I thought the,
Thank you for coming out there. All of you's been invited to come to see what you have in your town, and I haven't had any response from anybody to come look at it. You can stay on our property, walk our property line. It's right, it's there. We have manure piles bigger, we have 5 of them bigger than that desk, as high and as wide and as long of it.
didn't the
Everything,
prosecutor's
all his
office,
trash,
the
all his
prosecutor's
trash,
office spent
all his trash,
almost
all
2
his
hours
sewer,
out there?
Everything for 1 year is still there, okay? The sewer's frozen, the water's all frozen up, his makeshift well. I don't know, this is over a year now. I haven't gotten no results. Do you know, I know we talked about a lot of things were gonna happen, but from where I stand, there's absolutely nothing has changed. He's cutting down trees left and right. I got a list of trees that he's cut down. I wondered, have you made any plans to cleaning this up? And who's gonna replant this? Because it's all wetlands, highlands.
Charles, what recourse do we have other than continuing to bring him to court?
I don't know. He had court today with my sister, because she filed something, he didn't show. This is, I think you need to, you mentioned before about that sovereign citizens have a handbook. I think you ought to research that and look into it, because when you do, you'll find out this guy's the top-notch one. He's the worst case of all. He comes off really mild and meek, almost feminine at times, but he can be a raging idiot. I've seen him snap out on everybody, at all his family members, the dogs, everything. The sheep are beating the dogs up. There's only 4 sheep. I don't know what happened to the other 2 now. I'm sure they're in the woods somewhere dead. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. I'm really upset that nobody that is part of this township would come out and just take a look at it.
We've all been by it.
there's
Everyone has,
That's a little bit, you made a comment one night at one of the meetings about, you were referring to our situation, you said across the street. It's not across the street.
Okay.
It's right here. We're here and he's right there. Why he bordered everything on our property line, I don't understand. Unless this is part of the sovereign citizen issue, I think. He's got 8 acres, we have 1, but everything he has, all his animal pens are in his front yard, but our backyard, but it borders our property. And he keeps coming closer with all that. The dogs, I went hunting buckwheat, the dogs, every time I walk out and they see me, they know how to get out of the pen, they come out the pen, they come up behind me, and they follow me halfway down there. My willpower is stronger than I've ever believed it would be in this situation, believe me. I'm just begging for more. I think there's a lot of things that you say and I read, but it doesn't happen.
are there any scheduled court dates on the horizon that you know of, Lisa?
I'm told 2025, I have to wait for the calendar to be set by the court, but I inquired about it prior to today's court
We-
case.
Yeah,
so-
Lisa and I, we've been discussing this as
There's-
even
there's
even
still no
before
court
this meeting
case.
tonight, and just delay is a tactic, and we realize that.
Right.
And there are things that there's no dispute as to a lot of the things that you're saying. It's as we said, the playbook is delay.
Right.
And unfortunately, society's based upon a mutual agreement by all of us to play by a certain set of rules,
Right.
and
Well,
which
I
have
see that
which
every
have
day.
consequences, and some people don't adhere to that. But there's no lack of, there hasn't been any decision or lack of forward motion on behalf of the township. It is, but the process has been delayed through court proceedings, and there are due process issues, and you were right, that's the end goal. Delay is the end goal, seemingly.
3
But
months ago, the judge said to him, she said to him, you have to be off of there in 48 hours, whatever. I guess she didn't sign the order and all that, but so he stands there like an idiot. He says, he don't understand her words, he doesn't understand the meaning, he doesn't live by her rules. That was 3 months ago. She also said the month before that, this is a public health concern, she's going to try to speed it up. Nothing has been done since them court dates. The last time I went to court to just observe, I was issued 2 warrants, 2 summons, for harassment and, harassment and defiant trespass. So there was no conversation between the judge or anybody and the prosecutor with Devlin there. It wound up turning against me. And she asked me, did I receive them? Yeah, I received them. When I walked in the door of the court over there, they handed me the papers. I didn't even know what they were. My sister took them. And when I'm asking these questions, she's telling me, oh, look, you have these here, you gotta get a court date. That's another one of his things. But that's his whole game. I see that. I see that. He's dangerous. And if you guys are involved in this, man, really, poach him with caution. I've seen him change to a freaking animal. He basically had 1 arm, he uses that to his advantage. When he goes out in that car, where it has exempt tags on it, he'll pull up the Wawa right in the handicap spot. Tractor Supply, the dollar store. He's so brazen, it's totally ridiculous. And like I said, the kids were there, they don't have no water, they don't have no soda, all that's frozen. But nobody did them. Common services, they don't do nothing about that. I'm lost. And the only good part is, I live upstream, because all shit flows downhill. The rain and all, it's just getting worse and worse and worse. It's heading into the woods. He's cut down every birch tree that was there. Beautiful white birch has been there 40-something years. They're all cut down. He laid them around and made himself a parking lot with it. I think you need to see it. It's a whole lot different than what I'm sitting here telling you. Honestly, God, it is. And you can see it from standing on our property. And I'll let you know when he's not there if you want to. If you don't want to go to see it. I'm past the part of being afraid of the guy and all that. That's over. It's He does everything he can to try to, bother me, and I think that's part of his plan. I really do. To totally get me totally freaked and confused. Driving all the time with a car that he's gotten 4 times at least pulled over, no license, no registration. I don't understand why that thing's never been impounded. I don't get that. I don't know how he gets out of that. He's got tricks. He's got tricks that I can't understand. But there's a lot of things to be cautioned about, whoever goes there. Believe me. And something that had nothing to do with it. I've been visiting a liquor store down here a little more than normal because there's a situation. When you pull out of the liquor store, closest to the Chinese place, there's a bus booth there. All the lights from the intersection here are in that booth. It's hard to tell if the cars are coming from this way to there or from the intersection. Try it one night when you're there, just pull out of the parking lot and that thing is crazy. It's not something bad. Have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Charles. You as well.
Merry
Thank
Christmas.
you.
Thank you.
All right, I will ask for a motion and a second to close to the public.
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 15,
There is no executive session this evening.
I need a motion and a second to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.